People have started gossiping about you, and I can't lie. Hearing your name in their mouths made my chest tighten with both pride and fear. They talk like they know your story, but if they ever looked into your eyes, they'd realize they're only whispering about a mystery they can't understand. It hurts to hear how easily people twist your name, as if your struggles were gossip and not silent battles fought alone. I stay quiet when they talk about you, but inside, my heart screams, you don't know the whole story. People gossip about you because your silence intimidates them. They can't handle someone who doesn't need validation to exist. When they say your name, they do it with envy hidden behind laughter. They don't realize their gossip is just admiration in disguise. I've seen the way their voices lower when you walk by, like they're afraid you might catch them talking about the version of you they invented. They gossip about you because you stopped being who they could control. Your freedom terrifies them. I won't pretend it doesn't hurt to hear how they twist your kindness into weakness. But I know truth always survives the rumors. People talk, but the moment they see your strength, their voices tremble. They can't destroy what they secretly wish to be. It's strange how gossip spreads faster than honesty, but still, I've never seen lies build a life as beautiful as yours. They call it gossip, but what they're really doing is confessing how obsessed they are with your glow. Every rumor about you says more about their emptiness than your mistakes. Don't take it personally. Take it as proof you matter. They said your name like it was poison, but all I could taste was the truth. You've become unforgettable. Gossip is how small minds react to powerful souls. You were never meant to fit inside their conversations. When they started gossiping about you, I realized how deeply you've impacted them. Only legends get whispered about. People gossip about what they don't understand, and you've always been too real, too raw, too honest to be simple. They can't handle your peace, so they stir chaos with their tongues. Don't lose your calm. That's what bothers them most. The gossip hurts, I know, but it also reveals who's never deserved to be close to you. If only they knew how much you've cried in silence, they'd stop turning your pain into entertainment. People gossip because it's easier than facing their own flaws. You just happen to be their favorite distraction. They said things about you that weren't true, but I saw the truth in your quiet eyes. You didn't need to defend yourself. Gossip is the applause of the jealous. You should hear the noise as confirmation that you're doing something right. I've learned that when people gossip about you, it means your presence lingers even when you're gone. They can talk all they want. Your energy speaks louder than their rumors ever will. People gossip because you've mastered what they can't. walking away with grace instead of drama. When your peace threatens their chaos, they'll call you names just to feel relevant. It breaks me to see them speak your name with such cruelty when all you ever gave was honesty. Let them gossip. You're too busy healing, growing, and glowing beyond their imagination. The more they talk, the more you rise. Gossip dies when truth walks into the room. People gossip when they realize you've stopped needing their approval. That silence of yours, it's your power. The ones gossiping about you today are the same ones who once begged for your attention. Time exposes everything. When they gossip, don't respond. Let your peace make them question their noise. I see how it hurts you, but trust me, their gossip is temporary. Your growth is permanent. The day people started gossiping about you was the day they realized you've become untouchable. Gossip travels fast, but truth always arrives last and stays forever. They turned your story into entertainment, but you're still the one living with depth they'll never understand. They gossip because they miss the version of you that made them feel superior. Every rumor is just proof that you're worth talking about. They can't ignore your existence, even when they try. It's painful to hear them twist your words, but one day they'll realize gossip fades. Your spirit doesn't. People gossip about you because your silence makes them uncomfortable. They crave your reaction. Don't give it. You've grown beyond their level of understanding, and gossip is how they process losing access to your energy. The moment you started choosing peace over pleasing, the gossip began. And that's how you know you're evolving. Let them whisper. You don't need to prove your worth to people who measure truth by popularity. People gossip because you reflect what they've suppressed. You remind them of everything they've buried. People have started gossiping about you again, and it's strange how every lie they tell sounds like a confession of envy. I heard what they said about you, and I wanted to scream, not because it hurt, but because none of them know who you really are. They gossip because your presence exposes the truth they've been hiding from themselves. When they gossip about you, it's not hate, it's fascination twisted by insecurity. You've become their favorite topic, and that's what happens when you stop being ordinary. The more peaceful you become, the more restless they grow. Silence has always been your loudest weapon. I noticed how their voices change when your name comes up. It's not gossip, it's a confession of obsession. Let them talk. People who gossip about you in circles will never understand your straight path. They can't stand how you turned your pain into purpose, so they turn your strength into stories. People gossip about the ones who glow. It's their way of dimming the light they can't match. They said cruel things about you, but I've seen your heart, soft, tired, still choosing kindness. I think they gossip about you because your quietness threatens their noise. Every time I hear their gossip, I see how deeply they wish they were living your truth. They gossip about you, but deep down, they hope to be you. When your energy shifts to peace, their tongues twist to chaos. That's how you know you've grown. The gossip never ends, but neither does your grace. That's what keeps them talking. They talk about your past like it's still who you are, forgetting that you've outgrown the version they knew. I know it hurts to be misunderstood, but gossip fades faster than authenticity. They gossip because they can't decode your silence. You've become too unpredictable for their small minds. They called you names, but all they did was reveal how threatened they are by your calm confidence. When people gossip about you, it's the universe testing your ability to remain unbothered. You've learned that not everyone wants truth. Some people need lies to feel comfortable. Let them gossip. They'll eventually realize the stories they tell about you never stop your blessings. They spread rumors because your truth doesn't fit their narrative. That's not your problem. The moment you stopped explaining yourself, they started gossiping louder. Silence scares people who rely on noise. They can't handle the fact that your happiness doesn't include them anymore. The gossip doesn't hurt as much now. It just reminds you of how deeply they once cared. I've heard the whispers, and I've watched you ignore them. That's power, not pride. People gossip because they can't match your energy, so they try to drag it down. They act like they know you, but they only know the version of you that existed before your healing. Their gossip used to sting, but now it sounds like background noise in your peace. I think they gossip because they miss your energy, but can't admit they were the reason you left. They said you've changed, but that's only because you stopped playing small to make them comfortable. When they gossip, don't defend yourself. Your growth will prove them wrong silently. You've become the kind of person who doesn't need to respond. Your life speaks for you. Gossip thrives on attention, so starve it with indifference. People gossip about you because your evolution reminds them of everything they refuse to face. It's funny. They gossip about your life, but still secretly check if you're doing better than them. They can't comprehend your strength, so they call it arrogance. That's their fear talking. People gossip about you because they can't control the story anymore. You became your own narrator. They said you were cold, but the truth is, you just stopped giving warmth to those who burned you. Gossip is the sound of people choking on the truth they can't swallow. They turned your pain into entertainment, but it only exposed their emptiness. Let them gossip. Your silence is the only statement you need. They gossip because they miss the access they once had to your soul. People who gossip about you behind your back are always the ones who couldn't face your honesty. You're not their rumor, you're their regret disguised as conversation. I've learned that when people gossip, it's because your growth made them irrelevant. Gossip never targets the weak, only those strong enough to rise above it. They said you think you're better than everyone, but they forgot. You're just better than who you used to be. Gossip fades, but your silence, it echoes forever. People gossip about you because you represent everything they fear losing: control, comfort, and complacency. You've stopped chasing explanations because you finally understood. Truth doesn't need defending. They can gossip all day, but peace always sounds better than drama.